Welcome to Beard and Basil. I'm Jason.
And I'm Kara.
And the other night, while having dinner, we asked our kids a question. We said, what is it that you guys do that makes mommy and daddy most happy? Right? And yes. Our kids are 3 and 5, and then we have a 1-year-old, but he didn't answer. Anyways, what'd they say?
Do I have to answer?
Okay. They said, when we clean, when we pick up after ourselves, or surprise you by cleaning our room. That's what they say.
Parenting fail.
And
that's totally my fault.
Yeah.
The way to mommy's heart is by cleaning. And
to be fair, they say cleanliness is next to godliness. But unfortunately, what we want is for them to say something about being godly or, trying to, do what Jesus would do in a situation. And that was tough. That's tough to hear.
Cleaning
is good, but ultimately what we realized is that what you get most excited about as a parent, what we get most excited about as a parent,
you're like how big your reaction
is how they associate what's most important or how they understand what's most important in your family and then also in the world.
Right.
As they're little, that's just the way they look at the world is by what you teach them,
Yeah, so if you put a lot of importance on sports or on academics, like they're going to grow up thinking that's what is most important, which isn't a bad thing, but it just shouldn't be what's most important.
Right. Unfortunately, all those things focus on what they're doing and not who they are.
Or who they're becoming.
Right. And we learn from the Bible that God cares about who we are, what's inside, and that's what matters.
Yeah. In his book called Humility, C.J. Mahaney says, I commend and encourage my son for academic achievement or an athletic award, but we break out into real celebration around my house only when there's a demonstration of humility, servanthood, or godly character. And I love that so much. Like that's what I want for our family. That I want to break out into real celebration over serving and having godly character, or when our kids display humility. Like that's what I want for our family. Although I love cleaning.
Yeah, and what he's saying ultimately there is, like for us cleaning or for sports or academics, like that's good stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
But what he's saying is you get excited like here with that stuff, and then when they,
display godly character.
Yeah, display character. It's like, whoa, way up here. So that they know that there's 2 different levels of excitement. And that when they're doing, what God wants them to do, you get super excited because God's super excited about that.
So we tried it this week.
Yeah, we tried it.
After getting that.
Humble pie. Piece of humble pie.
Humble pie. We tried it this week. And at one point, when I was in the kitchen doing dishes, I had asked Ellie if she brushed her teeth. And she kind of looked at me like with a blank stare, like,
what should I say?
Yeah. And so while she was like thinking of her answer, I said, Ellie, this is a great opportunity for you to tell the truth. And she did. She told me that she hadn't brushed her teeth. And I like leaped for joy and was like clapping and like announced to everyone, like, Ellie just told the truth, and like made it a huge deal. And she was kind of caught off guard, like, whoa, Mom, you're a little crazy.
Oh, I just told the truth. Yeah.
But I had never gotten that excited over them cleaning, so I needed to like up the
more excited
the celebration.
Yeah.
And so she loved it. She absolutely loved the praise and the recognition from the rest of the family. And there was a couple of other times where we announced when the kids were making good choices and everyone clapped for them. But the point is just the joy on her face to see that she, was making a good choice, and I was praising her for telling the truth. And
I think you should even take it a step further from that, and this is great if you're looking for specifics to notice in what your kids are doing, is the fruit of the Spirit.
Yeah.
Go with the fruit of the Spirit. It's in Galatians 5:22, but it's basically God has laid out for us what godly character looks like.
Yeah, it's love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, self-control,
faithfulness.
And faithfulness.
Did you say gentleness?
Did I?
I don't know.
And gentleness.
And gentleness. But he's laid it out for us, and use those things. Put it up on your fridge.
Yeah.
And when they do something awesome, bring it back to that Bible verse and say, this is so awesome. You're showing gentleness, and God says it's so important, because really what you want to do ultimately is bring it back to the Bible and back to Christ and say that he's the one that's saying you should do this stuff because he's smart. He's smarter than us. He created us. He knows what's best for us. So do these things that he's saying to do, not just because I say to do it, but because he says it. And that's why you should
use the same vocabulary that God uses. You know, like, don't, when your kids are being nice to each other, don't just say like, hey, good job for being nice. Like, what is nice?
Yeah. Why does nice matter?
Yeah. Like, say like you're being really kind to your brother by sharing, or you're being really gentle with the baby, or you're having like a lot of patience waiting for dinner, even though I know you're hungry.
Yeah.
And make a big deal about that. So.
Yeah, definitely. And just to wrap it up here, I found this really cool quote. It's God is more concerned with who we are becoming than what we are achieving. And that sums it up really well to me. And God thinks it's important that we have good character and that we become more like him. So we should do the same for our kids. We should be more concerned with who they are becoming than just what they're achieving or doing. So there you go.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye.